right. Hello, everyone. I hope I'm clear. Just wait for a few people to join. We can start. Hello, Rohan. I hope I'm clear. I hope the audio is clear. Let me know if you can hear me, if there's any issue. Oh, okay. Okay, Rohan. Thanks. Hmm. So we'll just wait maybe for 1 minute more and we'll start off right away. Okay. Uh, just- yeah. All right. So So we have few people on board. I'll just start right away. Um, Hi everyone. Hello. Welcome to the live stream, the second live stream of this channel. Uh, we're here to celebrate 1 year of Script and Sight, and it's been quite a quite a year. It's been a huge learning experience, and I'm happy to finally celebrate this with all of you. Thank you to all of the people who have supported this channel, whether they subscribed or through their views or through comments, through shares, in whatever way possible, and that has uh, helped the channel, grow and at least find find its audience. So thank you to all of you, to all the subscribers and even the non-subscribers who've watched the content. You guys make a difference. Um, so today I'll be answering questions from you guys, and I have received some questions in advance. I had posted before talking about the stream and that I'm going to be uh, I'm open to getting questions from you via social media, and few of you have sent in some questions, and I hope those of you who have sent in, they're now present in the stream. You will be able to see your question being answered. Now, I think we'll just straight away start with answering the questions. Um, I'm gonna answer first question that was sent to me, and that is from friends call me CJ. So he asked. So this is his question. I love the work you do. I think you should do a list of best movie screenplays, Bollywood/Hollywood, of all time, according to you. What do you think of this? Friends call me CJ. Thank you for your question and thank you for appreciating the channel. Uh, I think it's a good idea to do a top 10 video. You've definitely suggested something that I definitely think of doing. It's a high possibility. Best Bollywood/Hollywood screenplays of all time. It's a very good idea. That can be like a sort of a short sort of video. So I'd be very much open to that. I have to uh, just the time will be taken to just figure the top 10 of all time, because that's a very heavy list. You have to go through a lot of really good movies, and you have to rank some movies higher than the other, which is very difficult. But I'd be open to that, definitely. In fact, the podcast that I had in April, end of April, was something to do with best Hindi films of the decade. So uh, yeah, that's having talking about a collection of films is something I always plan to do in future videos. So this will definitely be something I'll keep in mind when uh, when planning future content. So yeah, thank you for that. Now the next question comes from Lava Kedrame. She asks, should one break his or her own notions, presumptions, and stereotypes in their head before making a film? Thank you, Lava Kedrame, for that question. Uh, it's a very good question. I think one should definitely break his or her own notions or presumptions, but it should not get in the way of you telling your perspective or your viewpoint. Uh, Sometimes, if you are making a film about a stereotype or about a notion or a presumption in society or about a certain viewpoint, uh, you may have to show that on screen, but then it's very effective if you're challenging that stereotype or if you're challenging that presumption or notion. So uh, yeah, I think it's a very it's hard to say that you should just completely stop whatever you had thought of or what your beliefs are, because it's sort of a balancing act, I feel. So but yes, you should not be sounding very like you shouldn't sound like a propaganda, or you shouldn't sound like someone who's giving a very harmful or wrong message through your story or films. um, yeah, so I think that's something to think very carefully about whenever you're making any film. um, like in terms of my content, obviously it will have my own opinion and my own uh, my own viewpoint about any film or any piece of work. So that will definitely find its way into my films. It may be impossible for me to be completely objective. uh, but yeah, I want to try and be as objective as possible, but obviously 100% objectivity is might be very very difficult. Yeah. So yeah, I think breaking notions is important because it helps create different perspectives and helps create conversations, and it helps challenge stereotypes and all. So yeah. Now the next question comes from Irina, and Irina asks, as we already know you are into good movies, which was the first movie, good content wise, you saw that blew your mind and you decided to choose to pursue this field? Wow. I would say the one film that really blew my mind for the first time, and it really got me passionate about films and filmmaking, is Lagan. That plays a huge part in my life. Lagan is it's a timeless classic. I love the film. I can watch it, you know, anytime, and still be inspired by it. It continues to inspire me. That film is it's great in so many ways. It excels in almost every department you can think of. Whether it's the acting or the story or the writing, even the technical elements, the background score, the songs, the cinematography, the art direction, uh, sound design, everything. Like it's such a. I mean, no film is perfect, but to me, it is near perfect. So Lagan has got to be that film that really, you know, inspired me and made me want to pursue this field. So yeah, I think obviously I think everyone has seen Lagan. It's one of the most popular films in our country, and recently it celebrated 20 years, and there was so much of buzz around this film even 20 years later. So uh, you know, it just shows how great of a legacy it has left. So Lagan for sure. All right. So hello Rohan, hello Shama, hello Pradeep, hello Touring Shaman Aman Anand, hello Smriti, congratulations. Thank you Smriti, thank you. Aman Anand says Lagan is amazing and like you rightly pointed, a masterpiece. What is a bad movie that you often rewatch? Oh, wow, very good question. It's a bad movie that I often rewatch. Hmm. I have to think about that. I mean, there's a lot of things you can learn from bad movies. I honestly try to steer away from bad movies as possible. Uh, I mean, I watch them once, get disappointed, and then vow never to see them again. But I think watching bad movies is always part of any movie watching experience. Bad movie that I keep rewatching, I don't know. I mean, I've seen bad movies, but there's no movies that really make me want to watch it again. Maybe I'd watch it again, obviously, to learn what not to do or to learn what didn't work. Nothing really comes to my mind immediately. If there's any bad movie, hmm, yeah, I have to think of. I might get the answer to you, in the course of the stream. Right now, it's sort of uh, it's hard to think of one movie. No guilty pleasures. No guilty pleasures. Hmm. I think there are some movies which are like quite. They may not be great, but they're still fun watch. I do enjoy Kal Ho Na Ho. It's, I mean, it's not exactly a great film, but it is entertaining. And though it's not a great movie, what I do like about Kal Ho Na Ho is its editing. I think it's a masterclass in comedic editing. A lot of the jokes come from the cuts, and the timing of those cuts is brilliant. If you watch that movie and pay attention to the way the jokes land and the way the scenes transition from one to another, it's quite seamless. So if there's a movie, so that can be like a film I would consider like rewatching. Yeah, I may have rewatched that parts of it. uh, yeah, I mean obviously it's a little over long, and the tone suddenly shifts too dramatically in the end. uh, but yeah, that's maybe one sort of bad movie I go to. Um, yeah, I mean, let me see if there's anything else. If anyone has any other questions, please do. You can ask them live here. I've answered some questions already, which were submitted earlier, and now I'm open to any questions you want to ask right now. So please do ask away. Um, Hmm. Any other guilty pleasures? There's a Hollywood film called Ghost of Girlfriends Past. That one is, I enjoyed watching it. I mean, it's a little corny. It's a little, very conventional, formulaic Hollywood rom-com stuff. But that movie is quite funny, and it's very entertaining. Even though it's not like a cinematic classic. It's very entertaining, and it's got great performances. So that's a guilty pleasure, and that's a movie uh, I enjoy watching, even though it's not necessarily uh, outstanding. But yeah. All right. What do you think Bollywood does better than Tollywood? Oh, hmm. Tollywood is Telugu cinema, right? What do you think Bollywood does better than Tollywood? Uh, hmm. Bollywood. I have seen a lot of Telugu films, a lot of Tollywood films, but maybe not enough to sort of get a better idea of what kind of stories the industry makes. But I would say maybe one thing Bollywood does better than Tollywood. I feel there's a lot more better roles for women in Bollywood. More interesting female characters being written there. In Tollywood, not to say there are no good female, there are, but maybe not as much as I would like to see. In Tollywood, there's a lot of I mean, it's such a vibrant, thriving industry, and a lot of it is dominated by the commercial pot boilers, which is obviously very male led. And that's something even Bollywood can be accused of having. But somehow I feel the impact it has in Tollywood is greater, like the whole commercial mass hero. A lot of the great Telugu films with great storytelling that I notice, it's more from films that don't have massive stars, that don't have huge budgets, that don't have uh, big big male leads. The smaller films, the more those are more interesting stories, more independent scene. Yeah, so I think Bollywood has a little bit of an edge over that in Tollywood in terms of just female characters. I would like to see a lot more female characters, more memorable female characters in Tollywood. Again, this might be a generalization because I've not seen enough. So if there's anyone who disagrees, you can feel free to comment as well. Aditya Bardhan asks favorite screenwriters. I am a huge fan of Jaideep Sani. Jaideep Sani, who's written Rocket Singh, Chak De India, Company, Bunty or Bubbly. He's also written a lot of songs. He's a lyricist as well. I think he's one of the best screenwriters in India. Some of his body of work is really amazing. Um, uh, it's been a while since he wrote something, since he wrote a film. I think Should They See Romance was the last film he wrote. But yeah, I'm dying to see more stuff from him. So Jaideep Sani is incredible. Um, Favorite screenwriters. I like Juhi Chaturvedi. I like the scripts that she's written. Her collaboration with Shujit Sarkar is very nice. Whether it's Piku or Vicky Donor or uh, Gulabo Sitabo. I liked October as well. It was a very interesting, very strange sort of film, but it was a very, very, very offbeat, and it's done in a very interesting way. I like what she writes. Uh, which other favorite screenwriters in Hollywood? I do enjoy Tarantino's work. He's a very very interesting writer. Um, who else? I'm sure they'll come up right now. Nobody else comes at the top of my head. Uh, oh yes, I like Sham Pushkaran, who's a screenwriter in Malayalam cinema. He's written some phenomenal films like Maheshinde Prathigaram, Kumlangi Nights. He's co-written Tondi Modalum Dirksakshum, and he recently wrote Joji, that came on Amazon Prime with Fahad Fazil in the lead and Dilish Pothan directing. So Sham Pushkaran also is a very very good screenwriter. Yeah. Arma3 Noob asks, "Hey Akshay, big fan, love your analysis and recommendations. What genre do you personally gravitate towards?" Thank you, Arma3 Noob. What genre I gravitate towards? Hmm. I really like really like good dramas. And I mean, drama is such a broad genre as well. There's so many kinds of dramas, but drama in general, I like a drama, good drama. I really like a good thriller as well. Thrillers fascinate me a lot. I really enjoy thrillers. Um, Also, I'm craving a lot of comedy because I think there's been a lot of movies and TV shows that have been, dramatic and serious and gritty and realistic and all of that, which is all good. But then I feel there's a lot of it, and I like a break once in a while. I like to be just purely, completely entertained. So comedies I really enjoy. So I really like comedies as well. So those genres I tend to gravitate towards, like a good drama, comedy, or a thriller. And great thrillers also, they're not very common. So great thrillers, when you get a really good thriller, I get very excited and I thoroughly enjoy it. So yeah, um, yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, as long as it's a very well told story, its genre is not a deal breaker. It doesn't really matter. But now that you ask what genres I really gravitate towards, it would be those three that I mentioned. Yes, and you also Adyavardan also are favorite screenwriters. I'm sure there's few more, but I can't. Nothing right now comes to mind. Yeah, but I mentioned a few already. But yeah, those are some very interesting screenwriters, and you should check out their work. They're really really good. So yeah, um, yeah, I. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing 1 year. I have learned a lot. I've This year has been a lot of a lot about navigating the YouTube space because it's something I'm so new. And this 1 year, I've learned so many interesting things about YouTube and how to work this channel, how to create the content, and obviously the learning continues. And yeah, I'm looking forward to more interesting ideas, more exciting ideas to explore in the future in terms of content, in terms of videos. Um, I'm right now taking it easy. I've not got a lot of ideas in mind yet. Uh, Slowly, sort of planning it. Uh, yeah, I. But you will know once I start putting out posts and start announcing stuff, you will get an idea of what more is going to come in store in the future. But here's the thing: asks, are you going to share your movies someday? Lavanya Iyer says, congratulations. Thank you, Lavanya. Okay, but here's the thing. Thank you for that question. Are you going to share a movie someday? I would like to. I've made short films so far. Definitely, there is a plan to make features and more. Not necessarily just features, just longer format narrative. I think it would be a good idea to maybe watch my old shots and critique it and uh, break it down and tell why it works and why it doesn't work. That's the main thing. Why the short does, because when I look back, it can be embarrassing. But there are a lot of things I learned from doing it, and a lot of things if I would do it again, I would avoid. I would do it better probably. So I think that is a good idea in terms of sharing my films someday. Uh, if I am working on some content outside the channel, it could be like a narrative thing or something experimental or whatever. I would be happy to share that as well with all of you and get some feedback also on it. Uh, so yeah, I think that's a good idea. Thank you for that question. But here's the thing: uh, definitely open to sharing my films. I can maybe do an analysis of that someday. I'll have to figure which ones are worth breaking down and tearing apart. It'll be very cringy, but to look back at your old work, but it'll be fun. Joel Khan has joined. Thank you, Joel. Yeah. So yeah, there is. I recently discovered a podcast called Script Notes, and Script Notes is quite good. If someone is interested in writing, screenwriting, it's a very nice channel. I'll just put up the link here. It's run by a guy called John August, who's a professional screenwriter in Hollywood, and he has written some major films. Like for example, one major film he wrote was Big Fish. I think he wrote Big Fish. So he uh, runs his own YouTube channel, and he runs a podcast called Script Notes, and he runs it along with Craig Mazin, who created the show Chernobyl. So both of them have put out some very interesting content and very, very, very helpful, very insightful stuff they put out. So I'm gonna put a link here. You can check out the work. Yeah. So yeah, his channel is called John August. Do check it out. Lavanya Iyer says, "Love how systematically you explain filmmaking, even for non-filmy peeps like us." Thank you, Lavanya. Thank you so much. Uh, Thank you. I hope I'm glad that the content is clear to you. I mean, my point is to sort of make cinema, make the content for people, regardless of whether they're, you know, into filmmaking or not. You know, as long as they get the messaging and they enjoy the content, that's a big thing for me. So thank you so much. Joel Khan says, "Love Big Fish." Lavanya says, "Please take some time out to watch Frozen and analyze it." Oh, interesting. I really enjoyed Frozen. Um, it's a film definitely worth analyzing. Uh, would I do an analysis of it? I probably would. Right now, sort of the focus is on Indian content. I haven't really gone into anything Hollywood or somewhere in world cinema, but never say never. I might take up Frozen. Right now, it's not Hollywood content is not really a priority for now, but definitely in the future. So never say never, because Frozen is a really good movie. I haven't seen the sequel. I don't know if anyone has seen it. Let me know if that's also great. But Frozen definitely impressed me. It's a great film. Joel G. Khan, how do you see the future of cinema in your wildest dream? How do you see the future of cinema? Oh, Lavanya, Frozen, not the animated movie. Just FYI. Oh, okay. I get it. That film. Okay, from India. Okay. That film, I would like to explore that. Yeah, it sounds very interesting. It looks like a visual treat. So once I get to watch it, I'll let you know if I'll make a video on it. If it's something worth exploring. So Joel G. Khan asks, "How do you see the future of cinema?" Uh, I think the future of cinema is quite good actually. There's a lot more platforms now for cinema. There's a lot more stories coming out from pretty much everywhere. Whether it's mainstream or the independent scene. That's it's I'm seeing something. I'm seeing a really good future. Uh, Obviously, that future has there is caution as well in the future because of COVID. That has definitely changed the way film industries around the world have worked. But fortunately, the industry is resilient, and films are still being made in the COVID during the COVID pandemic. So uh, I think protocols will change, obviously, for cinema in terms of shooting, and that's already happening worldwide. Um, but in terms of output of films and in terms of productivity and all that, I think it's going to continue being very productive. I don't think a pandemic will eliminate that. So that is great. And I think technology is also changing. Like, for example, I was watching a video about the making of the Mandalorian and how they used, I forgot the exact term or the exact technical term that they used for that technology where they changed the entire location and setting for the shoot, which just is mind boggling, which they did for the Mandalorian. And with those kinds of technologies, I think you can really do wonders. uh, so yeah, I mean, I think there's more technologies might be there to surprise us in the future. uh, and I'm guessing people who will find a way to make a film will make their films, whether there's COVID or not, and they'll find their ways around COVID, and shoot stories like that. COVID might also influence storytelling. There's a lot of COVID stories that are already out. For example, the Malayalam film Arkariyam, it was about a family affected by COVID. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there'll be COVID-related stories as well in cinema. But here's the thing: asks, did you know Disney made Frozen to remove the search results that told us about how Walt Disney was cryogenically frozen upon his death? Wow, that's a very very strange fact. Very unusual. Cryogenically frozen upon his death. Well, Disney is a big company, so they will do whatever it takes. Wow. Yeah. Virtual production. But here's the thing: yes, virtual production definitely. Um, there's a lot of short films and being made virtually as well in the lockdown. So we're seeing a lot of that. So that is definitely happening. And I think yeah, the technology enables us to sort of create stuff virtually for the camera or on screen. So I think once that technology booms and once more people uh, use that technology and it finds a market, I think that will also expand. Um, yeah. Lavanya asks, would you be able to analyze theater plays as well? Oh, interesting. Uh, That's a very interesting thing to analyze. Honestly, I don't know if it's possible now. I don't know if I can do it right now. Um, yeah, it's hard to say, um, because the nature of it is live, and it has its completely physical thing. Though great plays have great writing, without a doubt. Uh, it could be a potential idea for the future. Let's see. If there was a play that really made waves, or it was something worth talking about, why not? But I'm currently not able to wrap my head around how to create content out of that. But we'll see. We'll see. Uh, there's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of cinema and TV that has come from, especially cinema that has come from play. So I think a good comparison of that can be a good idea for a video. Uh, uh, the art of adaptation can be something worth exploring. To adapt from a play to a film, that's something worth looking at. Uh, but looking at the actual play and analyzing that, that's something I have to think about and see if it's viable to do. But that's a good idea you brought up. So yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. Nayar asks, how about a community-led story writing? We could give each other prompts and write small stories and share. That's that's a very good idea. Um, yeah, I think it would be nice to maybe do it online on a Facebook group or something like that, or on Reddit, uh, to sort of create it, like you said, build a community around it. I think be open to that. Um, I just need to figure out maybe the amount of time to allocate for that, because that's something that will take time. So it depends on that as well. Right now, sort of my focus is on creating content for social media and thinking of ideas for the channel, and meanwhile, other things I have to do. So that's a good idea, and maybe I might do it, but maybe occasionally, once in a while. Uh, so I may have to figure ideas for that, uh, ways to sort of engage budding writers, or writing enthusiasts, or writers to contribute and be part of something. So yeah, that's something nice. But that's something I'll have to plan more efficiently. It's hard to sort of think about it right now. But yeah. Yes. The old and the feeble writing prompts, r/writing prompts. I'm guessing it is a Reddit group, or it's a potential name for a Reddit group. Yeah, that would work. Yes. All right. For anyone who is watching, and also who likes this kind of content, and who is not subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. A lot of viewers, according to the stats, a lot of viewers are unsubscribed. So please do subscribe, and you will get notified of these videos. So that is it. Let's see if there's any other questions. So if there are no more questions for a while, we'll slowly wrap this up. And yeah, um, I've really enjoyed these questions. There's some very wonderful questions you've thrown out, and you guys have given me some very interesting ideas to think over. Um, there's a lot of things there's a lot of room for experimentation for sure in terms of the channel. So I think the next year will sort of be about that, and obviously the similar kinds of content that have come out in the past year. So that is it. Yeah. So far, there's nothing else so far. Yeah. For anyone who's joining the stream later, watching it later on, please do comment on the stream and let me know what are your thoughts on this video. And yeah, please like the stream. Make sure uh, it helps the stream. It helps it get discovered. So please do like it. Lavanya asks, are you planning on expanding your team? Uh, no, not yet. Uh, once I am able to maybe once I'm able to afford to pay people for their services, then I will definitely consider hiring. That having an extra hand or a team obviously helps because it helps in more output of your content, and also helps you in brainstorming ideas and all of that. But not for now. Once I reach a position where I feel it's the best thing to do, I'll definitely get people on board. But nothing, no plans right now. Joel G. Khan says, will your focus remain in Bollywood and why? For now, yes, the focus is Bollywood and not just Bollywood, all the Indian regional cinemas. All the Indian regional cinemas. So that's Bollywood and all the other Indian languages. So whether it's Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Gujarati, Punjabi, Hindi, Marathi, like any kind of Indian film. So that will be my focus for now. Hollywood and world cinema, that's something I'm not completely uh, taking it off my plate. I would definitely be open to doing that in the future. But right now, the kind of ideas that I want to explore and the kind of content I want to do, it's focused a lot on the Indian stuff. So yeah, but never say never to Hollywood and world cinema. Joel G. Khan says, nice, no interest in cinema outside of India. Okay. Lavanya says, you have my CV. Nice. All right. Hao Zhang asks, what are your daily go-to YouTube channels to watch that motivate your creative desire? Nice question, How. Uh, daily go-to YouTube channels. There's one channel I do explore a lot daily, and it has nothing to do with cinema or screenwriting. Um, it's called Gary V, and he has a smaller channel called Gary V TV. So he does a lot of motivational content and a lot of content based on uh, you know uh, media and marketing and social media and things like that and entrepreneurship. So I watch it mainly for how he talks about creating a community, how to promote oneself, how to build an audience, those kinds of stuff, and that has helped me a lot actually. Uh, when I'm working on this channel, Script Insight. So I like watching Gary Vee a lot. I watch him quite often. I think almost daily. Yeah, Gary Vee is a big one. Great channel. Uh, I like I like to watch Tried and Refused Productions. Their content, it's very interesting. Anmol Jambal does a great job reviewing and analyzing films and all kinds of Indian films. So he's a very good channel. Very good work they put out. I like Film Companion. It's very inspiring, the stuff they put out. I mean, they're probably the most popular Indian film channel in YouTube, and it's there's a reason for it because their content is great. The interviews, a lot of the stuff that they do is very valuable, very helpful to film lovers all over. Other channels, which other YouTube channels I really like? Yeah, I think these are channels I sort of explore more frequently. Um, yeah, nothing else comes to mind. I think uh, once in a while, sometimes I discover very interesting channels. Like there's a channel called Polyphonic, which is about music, and the videos they make are very, very well made. Like in terms of the graphics and the presentation and all of it. So they do video essays on musicians. It's all mainly Western musicians. You know, pop stars, rock stars, uh, people in that space, and they do really good work. So yeah, so sometimes I don't watch a lot of, I don't actively seek out certain channels, but sometimes the way the algorithm works, they pop up in your feed, and you discover them, and you're like, oh wow, this is cool. So there's that. Lavanya Iyer asks, which is your favorite Bollywood masala emotionally high movie? Wow, Bollywood masala emotionally high movie. Uh, Bollywood masala emotionally high movie. I like. I really like the Munna Bhai films. I think they're great masala films. I mean, although very well made. There's one masala film that I feel it's quite funny. Is a film called Badshah. Shah Rukh Khan acted in it. Badshah is. I enjoy the film a lot. It's very funny. It's a very typical Bollywood, film in the spy genre. It's a uh, you know, comic investigation film, and Abbas Mastan made it, and it's quite fun. I mean, it still makes me laugh. Some of the scenes, it's got a lot of laughs, a lot of drama, a lot of it's quite crazy. I love that movie. So Bacha is one film I enjoy watching, and I think it's a film that Shah Rukh Khan was amazing in. I think it's one of his underrated comic performances. I think Shah Rukh Khan's comedic abilities are in full display in Badshah. It's amazing watching him in that film. He's so good and so hilarious. And not just Shah Rukh Khan, so many other of the supporting characters like Johnny Lever for sure. And there was a few other actors, I forgot their names in this. Yeah, Badshah, I love Badshah. Rohan, are you up for movie reviews? I am not really up for movie reviews. I don't consider myself like a movie reviewer. I don't want to tell people what to watch and what to like. I mean, there's plenty of people doing it out there, and I think a lot of people do it really well, uh, and that's not something that interests me that much. I'd rather analyze and break down a film, or talk about a certain aspect of the film that's amazing. But to review a film, I'm not really keen on that. It's really up to the viewer. If they like the film, they like it. If they don't like it, they don't like it. So I don't want to influence anyone's taste in films. Uh, yeah. So not too much into reviewing. Eddie J asks, "What's your take on international shows? How is it in contrast with Indian OTT platform?" Hmm. Interesting. Lavanya Iyer says Bacha O Bacha. Yeah, that's probably the most popular song of that film. What's your take on international shows? Eddie J, thank you for that question. I think international shows are great. There's a lot of great, really good shows out there. Um, yeah, some of the best writing you see in a lot of these shows. Uh, whether it's shows like Sopranos or Breaking Bad or recently Breaking Bad's prequel show Better Call Saul. It's outstanding. I've not seen a lot of foreign shows. I think the last foreign show I've seen was probably, if I'm not mistaken, Money Heist. Yeah, Money Heist is good. It's watchable. It might be a little hyped. I enjoy watching it, but yeah, that's a mass show. And how is it in contrast with Indian OTT platforms? I think Indian OTT platforms are also good. I mean, uh, the Indian OTT shows, some are good, some are okay, some are bad. It's a mix. Uh, and I think Indian shows are slowly reaching that international quality. Like some of the way it's formatted also feels very international. Like even Family Man or Patal Lok and some of Scam 992, a lot of them have fantastic writing, and they have they also, I've noticed, they adopted this cold open technique where they open an episode with a random scene that sets up something, and then it's sort of a dramatic hook in the episode, and then the episode then starts with the opening credits, and then starts from where you had stopped previously. So that structure is very similar to what a lot of American or foreign shows, sometimes American shows especially, what they use. So, and I think it's adapted well in India as well in certain OTT shows. Uh, and also the OTT shows, like the great Indian OTT shows, they're very much local and Indian in its setting, which is why I think it works. If they try and adopt the same international stories, it won't feel uh, dramatic and powerful. It won't resonate with the audience here. So yeah, I think Indian OTT, I'm sure there's a lot of exciting stuff to come. So I'm looking forward to that. And I mean, I don't want to really compare international and Indian OTT. I feel it's a little unfair because the cultural settings in both are different. So, but both have examples of great writing. Uh, Hao Zhang asks, do you have any Indian filmmakers to recommend to the world that you believe whom are trying to expand the horizon of current future Indian cinema landscape? Hmm, nice. Expand the horizon of current future. I think, hmm, in terms of Indian filmmakers who are trying to expand the landscape and push the envelope, I think I like how Raj and DK, uh, how they work. Raj and DK are they're a director duo. Raj Krishna and sorry Raj Nidimoru and Krishna DK. These two filmmakers. They are the creators of Family Man, and they are trying out very interesting stuff in their filmography. And I think Family Man is something that is also a big magnum opus of theirs, and it's done really well, and it's quite an enjoyable show. And I think it's a show that will even appeal to foreigners, uh, though it retains its Indian aesthetics and its Indian appeal to uh, the audience here. It can still, I think, appeal to foreigners because it's quite slick in the way it's done, and it's got a great level of quality in terms of production and writing. Um, so they try and experiment a lot. Their films are very interesting. Um, Raj and DK are filmmakers to watch out for. Vikramaditya Motwane is very good. Vikramaditya Motwane, I love him, and he is trying something new in every film of his. No film of his is similar to the other. Uh, he's tried, and he's experimenting a lot. And I think that's a real example of someone really pushing it and trying to, expand the horizons of what they can do. So Vikramaditya Motwane is a great filmmaker. Um, who else? I really like Zoya Akhtar. I think she is also doing some great work, and her films have a mass appeal, and it appeals even beyond India, I would say. Yeah. Aditya Vardhan asks how writing for an indie art house film is different from mainstream cinema. Hmm. I think the big difference is the budget. The budget is probably the biggest factor. They can't, indie art house films don't necessarily have big stars in their cast. Uh, they don't necessarily have big song and dance numbers. They don't go to exotic locations. They don't focus on larger than life stories or very ambitious, large scale uh, stories. So the writing would be much more minimal and much more. Uh, it would be sticking to the discipline of trying not to expand your budget a lot. You know. Uh, uh, but however, I think what I've noticed in indie films is that the stories tend to be a lot more personal, and they try to experiment. The problem with a mainstream film or a mainstream cinema is that there might be trappings of the box office or trappings of stars and producers who may not necessarily uh, s- uh, uh, who may not necessarily make certain choices that will benefit the story of the film. It's more to benefit the box office of the film, or how the film appeals uh, to an audience. I mean, they want the film to reach out to everyone. So if they deal with, if they focus on issues or themes or subject matter that is controversial, or is too niche, or it's too uh, something too new, that is a risk for them. That's a risk for mainstream, uh, filmmakers, producers, actors, people who dictate these choices. That's a risk for them, and they may not be able to experiment as much compared to an art house or an indie film. But I think now it's slowly changing. I think you see mainstream films that are dealing with, uh, new subject matters, and they're trying something new. So back in the day, I think it was quite, the differentiation between art house and mainstream was quite clear. Now it's slowly blurring, but that is there. So yeah, I think indie films, and that's the difference. I think, how they have to, the monetary factors come into play in terms of writing an indie film versus a mainstream film. Aman Anand says, it is so great to watch your content. Keep up the good work, my friend. You rock. Thank you so much, Aman. Thank you. So yeah, I hope I've haven't skipped any questions. I think I've covered. Yeah. What does it take? Yeah, I think I've covered everything. So yes. All right. I think we're pretty much done. I don't think there's any other questions gonna come up. Um, if they are, I'll answer them. But yeah, I think it's been great, and it's great to have answered all your questions. You've given me some wonderful questions to answer. Um, it's been great doing this stream. It's been great connecting with all of you guys. Um, yeah, please, continue to support the channel, continue to watch the content, and if you know any film enthusiasts who have uh, not heard of Script Insight, please do recommend Script Insight to them. Uh, so yeah, thank you so much. It's been uh, a wonderful first year of Script Insight. I have had the pleasure of uh, interviewing some very talented, wonderful people for the channel. I've had a lot of fun making many of the videos and video essays for the channel. I got to learn a lot about the YouTube space in this 1 year. I've gotten some wonderful feedback from all of you guys. A lot of the comments, a lot of messages, they've all been really wonderful, and I'm very thankful for that. Um, yeah. Uh, Urvashi Hinduja says, keep rocking. Thank you, Urvashi. Thank you. All right. So, thank you. Please do like, share, and subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. And this is it. I am signing off right now. I hope you guys have a good day, and looking forward to more great things ahead in the future. Thank you. Take care, everyone.